Miss Grant, are you still here with us?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me just pull up your case. Give me a moment. You had Mr. Winesbury served with the lawsuit, but he hasn't been given notice of a hearing today. Is that correct?
He was provided the Zoom link via email of
Okay.
today's docket.
Who provided that to him?
Let me check the name. Yesterday, Pam Seger from
Okay.
Pam's.
So the court provided it to them, but he hasn't answered the case. So his email isn't on file, and it's not really a proper way of serving him until he answers and gives the court his email. So did you provide the court with the email and your announcement?
Yes, because that is the only valid communication that I have for him. The numbers that I've had or provided, they're no longer valid. The last I knew that he was on the run from the police, so I don't have any other valid way to communicate with him besides the email address.
Okay. Well, there's the address where he was served on Norwood Park. Is he not living there anymore?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. You
The
don't
last
know
I
whether
heard,
he is or isn't.
um, I was informed that he had moved with his mom in Copperas Cove, Texas. I don't have an address for that.
Okay. And have you heard from him at all since filing the suit?
Yes, a few times. He's called threatening myself and my husband. Um, he would call from block numbers, or he called from when he was homeless in Austin, he called from the bus driver's number.
I'm sorry, the bus driver's number.
Yeah, because apparently he had lost his phone and he needed his one of his parents' number, but I don't have any of that information.
Okay. And so the case that you filed is a divorce, right?
No, it is for custody.
Okay.
We were married. We were just dating.
Okay. It's a SAPSR. I guess it got coded wrong. My docket sheet says divorce, but it's a suit affecting the parent child relationship. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. And what are you asking I guess let me hold on. Miss Crant, I didn't swear you in. I apologize. If you'd raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the same affirmation for what you've already told me?
Yes, and what I was actually asking the court was for custody, full custody, signed by the judge, because the last incident that happened was I talked to his school, my son's school, our son's school, and let them know kind of what was going on, how he had been threatening me. And I didn't think it was in his best interest for him to be able to come up to the school and take our child out of school. They talked to me, but they said they couldn't do much without a judge signing something or another. So an incident happened where he did come and he took our son out of school without my notice. He took him to a movie theater, and a bunch of incidents happened after that as he took our son to the dollar store, bought a knife, and told our son that he was going to stab me to death and stab my husband, my now husband, to death. He told our son this, and he also told our son to say that he's going to kill me or kill my husband anytime he gets upset in the home so that he can leave the home and go stay with him. But he never had a place to stay for our son. So without anything, I when he took our son, I called the police, and the police basically said their hands were tied with it because that's his dad, and there was nothing in the court stating that he was not able to have our child. And there was another incident because there's two children involved. There was also another incident where he tried to come. My father is a pastor in Austin, and he had came down to the church once he seen our cars there, and he tried to fight my dad in the sanctuary and outside in order to get our daughter. His I don't think it would be in the best interest for our children to be with him unsupervised because he is mentally unstable, and our son now has to go to counseling because of the series of events that happened on the day that he took our son from school that day. There's also some things that my son hasn't told me that he does. He said that it happened with his dad, and I'm just seeking getting him into counseling so that he can be able to express his feelings and emotions that way, to be more open with me, to be able to tell me and share things with me that his father has told him is a secret and not to share. It's been a roller coaster since leaving, having him leave my parents' home.
And when you're talking about him, are you talking about Mr. Winesbury or the child? I'm not following.
No, like Dustin. When I had him leave our
Okay.
home, it's been a roller coaster for me and the children, specifically my son Isaiah, who is 9.
Okay. And when did he leave the home?
Like 2 years ago in July, August.
Okay. And how have y'all been managing custody in the intervening 2 years?
He hasn't, since the day that he came and took him from school, he hasn't had him because I for one I can't find him, or he's nowhere to be found. I just hear wind of, oh, we seen him on the bus, oh, we seen him there. I know he had mentioned to my dad like roughly 6 months ago that he was living in a junkyard. He was staying like he would sleep in a junkyard. There was an incident where he almost got ran over by a truck when he slept at a bus stop one night. So he hasn't been able to actually like get the children because he doesn't have really a means to be able to. And I have no way of communicating with that.
Okay. So, Miss Grant, let me just tell you. So, the law has in it a presumption that both parents will be named joint managing conservators. And in order for the court to do something different than appointing both parents as joint managing conservators, I really have to have evidence that shows what is going on with the other parents, is a a concern to the child's health, safety, or welfare. And you've given me a little bit of information, but I really need to understand. So Are you telling me that Mr. Winesberry is unhoused, living on the streets? What do you know about his situation?
Okay, sorry. I forgot to add that I was also given made notice to do this case under a CPS worker that called my phone roughly a year ago because Mr. Winesberry had caught um, cases, including that had to deal with something being sexual, including minors, soliciting sex from minors and recording, visual recording of minors or something of that sort. When he originally got arrested, CPS called my phone to ask me if our children had been left alone with him recently, and I informed him that he has not had them alone recently, and they informed me that he had caught some charges that questioned whether he had touched our children in any sexual way. So, and I expressed to them, I said I know, like I didn't think that he had done that. So they told me what were my next steps in order to make sure that he doesn't have them unsupervised due to these charges. And I informed them that I will go down to the courts and see about a custody ordeal. And they informed me that that would be in the best interest of the children because of these cases that he has accumulated recently.
Okay. All right, Miss Grant, here's the thing. So your hearing is set for 15 minutes today. And what you're asking the court to do cannot be accomplished in that amount of time. In order for the court to consider making one parent the sole managing conservator and the other a possessory conservator who might only have limited or supervised visitation, that's going to be a lengthy evidentiary hearing. But definitely, you've told me enough to where I know that this needs to be set, probably 2 or 3 hour hearing, maybe a half day. But you will need to come back to the court with evidence that supports what you've told me today. So I'm gonna ask that this be reset. And I know Ms. Holland is here from the law library. I know she can help. Court administration will provide a setting, but I think, and I'm not sure if this is in your pleadings, but I think perhaps a temporary orders hearing would be appropriate, or you can set it for a final hearing on the SAPSR. It just needs to be, you need to have more time to present your case because I mean, I know that Mr. Winesberry isn't here, so he is in default, but it's a pretty big hurdle to get to a point of being sole managing conservator. So you're going to need to come with evidence, witnesses, documents. If those allegations that you've told me have resulted in convictions, that is something that the judge will want to know at that hearing. But I don't think we can accomplish this in the 15 minutes you have set for this morning. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. All right. But it sounds like the child is back in your care and you haven't seen him in a while.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you're going to need 2 or 3 hour hearing, maybe half day, but Miss Holland can work with you to get this matter reset. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sure.
Okay. All right. I'm going to make a note for the next judge just so she understands why we weren't able to take care of this today. It simply wasn't set for enough time. Okay? Thank you. Good luck to you. You're excused from the virtual courtroom.
Thank you.
Thanks.